Hi, good evening, everybody. Happy Chanukah. Welcome to 8 Nights of 8 Lights, joining us, lighting candles together across the United Synagogue. It's my honor to now introduce and to be joined by our synagogue's local MP, Mike Freer, who will share some greetings for Chanukah with us this evening. We really appreciate all of Mike's support for the Jewish community and everything he does for the constituency. And we're really delighted that he can join us, the Fromson family, for candle lighting this evening. Handing over now to our MP, Mike Freer.
So you broke up a little bit there, so I think I'm now on. So as ever, it's always a real joy to be able to talk to my constituents, especially my Jewish community. And as well as this special time of the year, I wanted to wish the whole community Hey Sameach, Hag Sameach, in terms of Happy Hanukkah. I know that this year the festivals have been particularly difficult as we struggle with the restrictions due to COVID and the restrictions on communal worship. But I do hope that, as in Hanukkah, when light shines through, we are now seeing the end, if you like, coming down with the vaccinations. And I hope soon we will come through this and our communities will be able to resume their normal practices of worship and going to synagogues and getting together with their local community, because I know how important community and family is to the Jewish community. So I do think that we have much to be hopeful for in post-Hanukkah. So I also wanted to thank United Synagogues for hosting this on-screen event. And I'm particularly proud to be able to say that Finchley and Golders Green, my constituency, is the home of United Synagogues. And I'm very proud to represent the community. So once again, Happy Hanukkah. And I hope that this time next year, we'll be able to have our normal Hanukkah celebrations.
Thank you so very much, Mike, for those lovely words. And it really is an honor to have you representing us and taking us through these difficult times. It's now my honor to hand over to Sarah Murgraff from Lilmod Ulalamed. She's part of the Women's Educator Program, and it's lovely to have her addressing us and sharing a 5 minutes about Torah today.
Hi everyone, and Chag Sameach. Today I'd like to share an idea about Chanukah, based on a shir by Rabbi Amital, Zeichat Tzadik Lebracha. He was a member of the Israeli cabinet and Rosh Yeshiva of Gush. This shir was based upon the Maharal Sefer, the Ner Mitzvah. The Maharal was a rabbi who lives in Prague hundreds of years ago, and this book discusses the four main exiles of the Jewish people out of the lands of Israel: the Babylonian, Persian, Greek, and Roman. Whilst the book's purpose is to deal with the laws of Chanukah, the Maharal actually discusses this very little. Instead, the book gives us a broader perspective of the holiday itself and gives us a deeper meaning into the miracle of Chanukah. We can look into this by asking a question: how did the Jewish people become more enriched as a result of their struggles against the Greeks and their salvation from God? A similar question can be asked with respect to the Jewish people in the Exodus from Egypt, where God took us out with miracles and wonders. Whilst it was Hashem who brought us to Egypt in the first place, the struggle to be free and redeemed were essential experiences which shaped and formed the Jewish nation. If, however, we think of the Exodus as simply a story of suffering and redemption, we lose its true profoundness. Our sages explain, in various midrashim, the additional dimension given to the Jewish people as a result of the Exodus. The Maharal discusses the same dimension, the spiritual enrichment of the Jewish nation with respect to the salvation brought about by the Maccabees. Whilst all of us contain hidden strengths and weaknesses, these are most exposed during challenging times. An example of this is the hidden physical strength demonstrated by people when in danger of death. There are those who find God precisely at times of struggle and during trials of faith. And whilst this concept applies to an individual, it also applies on a national level. This has been shown by the stories of the Jewish people throughout history, who demonstrated spiritual strength and courage during the course of battle waged against them with persecution and the forcing of alien values and ideas. At the same time, human beings also need time to translate sudden insights and unexpected abilities into ways of living. And it's Hashem's salvation during these hard times that gives us this opportunity. By relating to salvation in this way, we begin to understand how the Messianic redemption can only be brought about after the Jewish people undergo a series of preparatory steps. The battles of Chanukah are not only great historical events, but they also mark the process of the building of the Jewish nation. This explains the Maharal's underlying idea in the Ner Mitzvah. The world was initially created lacking completion, and therefore must undergo a process to bring it to wholeness. The deficiencies of the world are shown throughout human history in the development of the world's 4 great empires, each of which present a worldview irreconcilable with the notion of God's oneness. A midrash which Maharal mentions at the beginning of his work amplifies this theme. The world was formless and void, and darkness covered the deep waters, and God's spirit hovered above the waters. This is described in the beginning of Bereshit. Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish explains the verse refers to the 4 empires. The world was formless refers to Babylonia, void refers to Persia, darkness refers to Greece, who darkened the vision of the Jewish people with their decrees, and the deep waters refer to Rome, whose eventual downfall is as inscrutable as the deep. God's hovering spirit refers to the spirit of Mashiach. The world was initially made incomplete, and only becomes so at the time of Mashiach. Between these 2 points is the timeline of human history, at which its completion brings completion to the world in turn. The process involves conflict between the 4 empires and the Jewish people, between their cultures and ideologies. However, out of the struggle between these ideas and the Jewish people, the ideal states can emerge. Chanukah represents the advancement of the process stemming from the confrontation between Israel and the Greek Empire. The ancient Greeks developed values which transformed humanity, indicating the great spiritual potential that they possessed. However, their spiritual underpinnings were incomplete, and only through the confrontation with the Jewish people could they be integrated into their proper place in human history and the service of Hashem.
Thank you so much for those lovely words and for that inspiration. And as I introduced before, I'm Rabbi Sam Fromson. Thank you anyone who's just joined us. My wife Hadassah, our daughter Ariel. The other 2 kids are somewhere in the house. Hopefully, if they do decide to join us, they're well behaved. And we're going to sing a little bit together. We're going to light candles together, share a couple of words of Torah, and hopefully enjoy a lovely evening. It's very dark, and it's very dark tonight. But in fact, it's been quite a dark year. There's been a lot of struggle, a lot of people working in ways they've never worked before, people struggling with their health, with their jobs. And when things are dark, it can seem like all is hopeless. It can seem like all is lost. We can feel very depressed. We can feel quite down about it. And that's something that we all struggle with at time to time, and more so this year, perhaps than any other year in history. And when times are dark and when we're struggling, the thing that we need to do is to light a candle. And that candle can mean so many different things to different people. It can mean literally lighting a candle, bringing light out into the street. But it can mean in each of our lives, we light a candle in a different way. It can be taking on something of learning. It can be taking on an act of kindness. It can be rekindling a relationship. Funny how we call it kindling a relationship, just as you kindle a fire. We rekindle a relationship either with ourselves, with our loved ones, with friends who we're not in contact with. And each of those acts of rekindling brings light into our lives, and hopefully into the lives of other people. And the most powerful thing that you can do for someone, when you see that they're in a period of darkness, when you see that they're struggling with the nighttime, with the oppressive darkness of night, whatever that means for them, is to give them a candle, to help them bring that one light into their life. And as we do with the nights of Chanukah, we start off with 1 light, but then it grows. The second night, we light 2 candles, 3 candles, 4 candles. Tonight, we're going to light 5 candles. And gradually, we increase the amount of light that we bring into the darkness. So we've lit up all the dark places and brought light into our lives and the lives of those around us. Now, it's an honor to have everyone joining us, joining the Fromson family, as we light our Hanukkah candles together. And I'm going to start by saying the brachot, and then Hadassah and Ariel are also going to light their Chanukiot, and we're going to light them together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של חנוכה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שעשה ניסים לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. הנרות עליי אנחנו מדליקים הנרות הללו, אנחנו מדליקים על הניסים ועל הנפלאות ועל התשועות ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו, שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם, בימים ההם, בימים ההם, בזמן הזה. על ידי כהניך הקדושים, בכל שמות מלך על כל הארץ הללו קודשכם, ואין לנו רשות להשתמש בהם, אלא לראותם בלבד, כדי להודות להלל לשמך הגדול, על ניסיך ועל ישועותיך ועל נפלאותיך. בעזו ישועתי, לך נאה לשבח, תיקון בית תפילתי, בשם תודה נזבח, ליתחיל נפח, ניצב נדח, אז אגמור בשיר מזמור, חנוכת המזבח, ועוצה בנפשי, ויגון כוחי חיה, חיה נעלו בקושי, בשיבות מלכות עגלה, ובידו הגדולה, הוציא את הסלולה, חיל פרעה וכל זרעו, ירדו כאבן מצולה, ובקודשו הביאני, וגם שם לא שקטתי, ובנו כס והגלני, כי זרים עבדתי, ויראה מספתי, כמעט שעבדתי, כס בבל זרובבל, וכס שבעים נשעתי, קרוב כמת לראשתי קש, אגדי בן המדעתה, ונייתה לו למוקש, וגבעת נשבעתה, ראש ימיני סייסה, והלל שמו מחיתה, ובנה וקניינה, על העץ פליטה, יוונים נקפצו עליי, אזי מחשמני, ופרצו חומות מגדולי, וטימו כל השמנים, ומן התקנים, נעשה נס לשושנים, בני בינה ימי שמונה, קבעו שיעור נענים, סוף זרוע קודשך, וקרב קץ הישוע, מקום נקמת עבדך, מלומש השעה, כי הלכה לנו הישוע, בין קץ מבית הרעה, זכי אדמון בצל צמון, הקם לנו האנשיבה. So one of the things that brings a light, that lights a candle, that brings light into my life, and for many parents who go to schools and see the schools Chanukah plays and the Chanukah celebrations, those are the things that really bring light into our life and into other people's lives. And Ariel, who's now just disappeared to go play with Lego, but Ariel did her school, Ramon did their school Chanukah play today, and it was something that was really beautiful. Do you want to say anything about it?
It was just wonderful, and the most wonderful bit was just watching how excited and enthusiastic they were about the songs, and really becoming an important memory of their childhood. And it takes me back to when I was a child, which is the power of music.
So if anyone's here with their children and hasn't been able to go into school for whatever reason, or their kids haven't yet done the Chanukah presentation, we thought we'd sing some of the songs together with everyone, and maybe you can get your own little Chanukah show alongside your children or adults who'd also feel free to join in. We'll start off singing Al Hanisim. Al hanisim ve'al hafurkan ve'al hagvura ve'al hatshuva ve'al hamilchama she'asita la'avoteinu bi'yamim ha'hem b'zman hazeh. Al hanisim ve'al hafurkan ve'al hagvura ve'al hatshuva ve'al hamilchama she'asita la'avoteinu bi'yamim ha'hem b'zman hazeh. Al hanisim ve'al hafurkan ve'al hagvura ve'al hatshuva ve'al hamilchama she'asita la'avoteinu bi'yamim ha'hem b'zman hazeh. Al hanisim ve'al hafurkan ve'al hagvura ve'al hatshuva ve'al hamilchama she'asita la'avoteinu bi'yamim ha'hem b'zman hazeh. Ariel, we're next going to sing. You need to help me on this one. This is the one I know. So, Ariel, do you want to start off? Lead it away. Take it away.
Oh Chanukah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party where all dance the hora. Gather round the table, give you a treat. Dreidels to play
With our latkes to eat.
and
While
while
we are playing, the candles are burning bright. One for each night they share the sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they share the sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Miriam Alel? Okay.
Do you know that one?
I think we should do instead. I had a little dreidel, I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, with dreidel I shall play. Dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, a dreidel I shall play. It has a lovely body, with legs so short and thin, and when it gets all tired, it drops and then I spin. Dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, with dreidel I shall play. My dreidel is so playful, it loves to dance and spin. A happy game of dreidel, come play now, let's begin. Oh, everyone join in. Oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, with dreidel I shall play. And the very last one we're going to do now is Sevivon, Saf, 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 Chanukah, Ruchatov, Chanukah, Ruchatov, Sevivon, Saf, 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 Kavachon, Neskadon Hayat, Neskadon Hayat, Sham, Chalulam. Chag Sameach, everybody. Chanukah Sameach. Thank you for coming into the Fromson household to light candles with us this evening. And thank you to all the people involved in producing this and bringing light into the lives of so many people. And as we go through the rest of Chanukah, we can all just try and think of the way that we can add that bit more light to our lives, bring that light into other people's lives. And with that, wish you a Chanukah Sameach and a very good evening. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.